motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Any seconds?
Second, Carol.
All right, made motion by Don Zabrowski and seconded by Carol Morset to accept the minutes of April 20th. And now we'll hear a report from Lisa.
Okay, so this is for the month of April. Basically, every month I tell you how much of the fiscal year is left. With another month behind us, we have 17% of the fiscal year left, which is basically May and June. So 2 months are left. And the column toward the middle of your page that says percent remaining, we should have pretty much close to 17% or more, okay? Largely, as we've heard in the past, we typically are running ahead. We're in good shape. The only category we'll see that we're a little bit beyond 17, with less than 17% remaining is outreach, and I know the reason why. So let's just go down. Under wages, again, clerk position hasn't been touched, so that's fully remaining. And so with those wages left, what we would do if it was necessary is supplement the outreach wage budget slightly, so that by June 30th, we landed at 0% instead of going in the negative. Overall, for the COA, the budget won't ever go in the negative by June 30th because we're conservative with the budget. So we have more budget now that we've reopened post-COVID than we might have prior to COVID. So like for transportation wages and half of the activity director's job, we have about 40% of that budget remaining, and we only need 2 months worth. So there'll be excess left there as well. The senior lunch program is running conservative as well. We've got 21% remaining. And then for outreach, we have income in the month from our Title III outreach grant reimbursement of $292, and we had payroll in April of $16.55.80. A reason that outreach ran a little heavy in April than is normal is I was away for a week, and Diane Morgan basically was here to cover my role as well as hers. So her billing was more than her 15 hours a week, obviously, okay? If we go to the town accounts, we have, for office supplies, we have about almost 77% of our budget remaining. Postage, we have exhausted, which is fine. I just did that before the end of the fiscal year to fund basically the permit handling on our newsletter mailing, which is a monthly occurrence. For repair and maintenance of vehicles, we had $104 of income from fares, from users of the shuttle and the fares they pay. We had an expenditure of $152 at Yankee Glass to reset and to pull and reset and reseal the windshield on the blue transit van. It was leaking, and we found out when we took it to AJ's Auto Body, they were kind enough to just assess it and leak test it. They didn't even charge us, and they sent us to Yankee Glass, and they were able to successfully save the windshield, reset it and reseal it, and we have no rain in there. So that being said, we actually have almost our entire budget for repair and maintenance of vehicles than we started with. So we had 1,100 to begin with, and we now have 96 cents less than that. Repair and maintenance of office equipment, we haven't touched that at all, so we have had no need. Mileage, miles, meals, meetings, and dues, we have 19% left on that. We had no expenditure for that category in April. And for printing, We had no expenditure in the town account for that function in April. We have nearly all of that budget remaining, and that's largely because when we get further down, we take care of printing related expenses, things like the lease on our Rico copier, which is largely used to produce the inserts for the newsletter, and other small functions, but that's typically the heavy lifting that machine does. We take that out of our formula grant first. Then, as need be, if before the end of the fiscal year we've exhausted the formula grant for that category, we then go against the town account. So we're in good stead and stewardship for the town accounts, as well as the wage accounts. For donation accounts, we had a small expenditure in April of $74.40. I put a new sign up at the top of our ramp to notify people that the Council on Aging door is not meant to be a general walkthrough for the town offices, public, or contractors. It's just too many germs and people not necessarily abiding by masks. So I bought a sign and had it customized, and I installed it on the post next to the slippery when wet sign. So that's what that expense was. Nothing out of fuel funds because heating season is over, even though many people's tanks are probably, depleted, and who wants to think about buying heating oil at $5 or $6 a gallon. But we do not dispense from our fuel funds after April the 30th. So this is the amount of money that we will carry over into next year, because this is our donation accounts. This does not revert back to town general fund. General gift, we took in $350 of donations, and I thought I put my notes in here for that. We had $381 of expense in April for that. That is, let's see, $150 for three Zumba classes, and $160 for 2 yoga classes, and then some tablecloths. Okay, so the 160 and 150 is $310, and there was another like $60 of supplies for functions. Okay, senior lunch fund, we had an expense in April of $36.59. That's pretty much buying water for the lunchroom, for the lunch program, because we still need bottled water, and we'll talk about that a little more under old business. Food pantry, we had $110 of donations, and we expended $139.94, so basically $140. I did a big shop for the food pantry and the freezer in April at the Big Y. Okay, no activity in the Thanksgiving basket fund. Formula grants, so 50137 under activity is half of the wages for Rachel's activity coordinator function, not her lunch program or nutrition program function. And under newsletter printing, this includes $136.80 for the lease on the Rico copier. I had to buy a replacement toner cartridge for that machine. That was $55. And then we brought in 2,000 number 10 printed envelopes for our newsletter from Marcus Printing. So that's what the $479.11 is. So in all categories on the far right, we have a little over 17% left. Now, the formula grant is from the state, and they administered this money late. That doesn't matter. We were always writing it to the account, covering it in our own funds. And then when they finally gave us the actual monies, notice in all prior months, these values next to the formula grant function, activity conference. I used to have these dollar amounts in italics. Now they're not italics because we actually got our disbursement. It hit our accounts in late March. So now the money's real. But even said, we only have 2 months left. It's not like this money will go away. They have generally since COVID, they've allowed any excess to roll. So these formula grants, even though we just got the money in late March, technically the formula grants period expires June 30th. So we are allowed to carry over. Whereas our Title III West Mass Elder Care Grant is federal grant that expires September 30th. So like other months, we're in good shape and we have fungibility and we're nimble. Okay. Any questions on that?
Listen, this is Joyce. Can you hear me?
Hello.
I'm here now. Yeah, well, I tried to get on my computer, my laptop, and she wouldn't let me in. So I just dialed in on your phone number, okay? So Joyce is here, okay?
That's fine. Okay.
Okay.
And then to the far right for April programs, bread delivery, 27 in the month, up 4. Elderly pantry clients, we had 6 of them come in. They took a total of 8 bags. That was 1 more person and 2 more bags. Pantry program for people under 65. We had 3 of them come in, took 4 bags, no change in the number of people, 1 less bag. Brown bag, our brown bag enrollment has gone up very recently, and that's because when people get to come here from other communities on the mobile produce van day, which is the 4th Tuesday in the month, and it is then that they have made available to them applications for brown bag, and that's partly because Neighbors Helping Neighbors talks about food resource programs as well. And unlike our food pantry program, which is for Granby residents only, the brown bag, people can choose if they're eligible and they apply, they can pick where they'd like to pick up the brown bag. So we've picked up a lot of people from outside Granby for some reason who want to pick up their brown bag here. And it's not because they're already picking up a brown bag in Chicopee or somewhere else. There's no double dipping for the application process. So we've picked up 4 additional clients getting brown bags in the month of April. Grocery delivery, we had 3 seniors ask for items, typically from our pantry and our freezer, or we go and get specific things. That's 1 more person than in March. Transportation, we had 10 medical related rides, that's up 2. We had miscellaneous rides of 17, that's down 18. So there was 35 in March. I don't know what was going on in March. Support programs, Diane Morgan with her outreach and Shine Counseling saw 32 clients. That's up 11 from March. Medical equipment, 4 people took 6 pieces. So that's 2 fewer people and 8 fewer pieces. I think there were a lot of procedures going on in March. Wellness calls, 41. That's up 4 from March. Regular phone calls, 64. That's down 45 from March. And 1 SALT application came in either for a lockbox or street numbering. Okay, so that's April's report from the Senior Center.
Okay.
So everything sounds good to me.
Oh, good.
Okay, Lisa, you want to talk about the old business?
Yeah, so old business, last Friday we were closed for the day, Friday the 13th, and it's not because we're superstitious, it's because we had to pick a date for the town to have the water contractor come in and try to insert a fix down the well. So they had to shut the water off to the building, which meant no toilets, no big deal. We have no potable water because we've been dealing with that since June. Unfortunately, when they went to put this Jaswell collar seal down the well, it encountered something sticking out from this inside of the well wall, and it ripped the PVC product. So that happened pretty quickly, and that clearly meant the work for the day was not going to happen. So it's back to the drawing board to figure out how to get this inner seal inserted deep enough down without destroying the Jaswell seal collar. So we're not on the hook for that, or the town isn't. That's something the contractor, I think, apparently will have to take care of. So they tried. it started. It's not fixed yet. So we'll just keep doing potable water for some time. Okay, so that's the old business.
Okay, I guess you're still up for the new business.
Okay, new business. Let's see. First, and there's one more item for new business. Number one, as of last week, I reinstituted masks in the center. Okay, unless someone has a medical issue such as oxygen, and we do have several people here who do that. And if you're at a table eating and drinking, you obviously can take the mask off. But we're doing this because we've had too many cases the last few weeks, and whether any of you are aware of what's going on in the town, the numbers are going up. And the reported numbers are an undercount because there's many people who are finding out they're positive by doing a home test, and it doesn't ever get into the state level and local level database unless you go and have a PCR test at an urgent care where then it gets reported. So for the time being, we're going to have masks on, and we also are requiring this of presenters, and presenters must, the morning of an event, before they arrive here, test, and they must show us their negative test or send us a picture of it with the timestamp on it. That's how a lot of the colleges do it. We can't always go on an honor system. We will with our seniors, but with outside presenters, they must test. We have test kits here, and they're free. I'm happy to make 2 available per person who comes in. They need to be used before they are no longer functional. They have an expiry date on them of July, but the CDC last Friday sent an email out through all municipal channels that they're good for an additional 3 months after that. I've also located another opportunity. I will be bringing in another case of 90 kits because I'm sure we're going to be doing this still in the fall, unfortunately. That being said, I'm also segueing to tomorrow night's volunteer appreciation dinner. Not all of you have been called yet. I did the best I could yesterday getting through the list, but I knew I'd have many of you today on this call. We're requiring masks, and we're requiring everyone, regardless of whether you've been double boosted. I'm tired of hearing that. Test tomorrow morning. If you're negative and will wear a mask, we'll love to have you. If you find that onerous, we understand if you want to withdraw, okay? Those who can't make it because they're ill right now, we will send you a meal on Friday morning, and anyone who wants to abstain tomorrow night for whatever reason, we'll deliver you a meal Friday morning along with your volunteer gift from the Council on Aging. But that's how tomorrow's going to proceed as safely as possible. Unfortunately, we're going to have rain, so I can't do the first hour of music and hors d'oeuvres outside. So we will be in the hall. Right now, we're at about 41 people. For 2+ hours. I will have windows open, but short of not having the event, and that's not an option because there'd be a lot of money lost with the caterer, and it's not my money. It's Fogey's money. I'd like to try and have some fun, but do it prudently, okay? And so those are the rules for tomorrow night, seeing as we were talking about new policies here about wearing masks. Next new business. Any questions about that? Okay, hearing none. Next new business is Memory Cafe. I'm glad I remembered that. We are going to aim, this will be announced in the June newsletter. We're going to aim to be ready by August. It's a very important service that councils on aging can offer, and we do not have it. Rachel and I spoke, and we've decided that if we were to add something to what may be of use here, and we've had many calls from caregivers in town looking for a place for respite, not just for their loved one, but for them. We're going to try and start slowly and do it once a month. And if we get good traction, we'll do it twice a month. Most senior centers do it once a month. It will require us recruiting good volunteers from the community or maybe through RSVP. There'll be certain disposition to want to be a volunteer in a memory cafe. It's usually for an hour and a half to 2 hours. It's just a place for people to come who have cognitive challenges, and they come with their caregivers. And you do things like music, sing-alongs, some very basic crafts. It's not heavily structured, but it allows the senior center to be a place where people will have a real need. And I'm not saying just the person with the cognitive challenge, but also their caregivers to come. We have tried many things the past few months for our regular community without cognitive challenge. And, we either, for some reason, have lackluster enrollment, or we have the enrollment and then there's cancellations by people. Whether it's movies, we've been trying now for several months to start a shopping trip in the van for 3 people. Next month will be the last month we try it. So this Friday is Target, and I don't know what next month will be. We will try making it free next month, but other centers charge $3 to $5 for that ride. I don't know if it's a price point issue, but where I'm going with this is we're trying many different things to find out what people want. I'd like to do something that's a little more substantive for people who need relief, which is caregivers, and a place for people with cognitive challenges to come and maybe have a couple of hours of pleasant time. And it may start very small. I think all you might hope for is maybe no more than 5 or 6 people with their caregivers. That would be enough to handle. But if when we start it in August, we have 2 or 3, that's a good start. We want to learn the ropes. We're going to look through the state training. That's what we're in the process of doing. And so that's on the slate for August, and we'll be working on that the next few months to get that up and running. Okay. I'm sorry, I don't have the agenda in front of me. Was there one more new piece of business?
The grant towards a new outdoor sign.
Oh, there we go. Thank you, Florence Savings Bank, and all the customers who put us in for the Customer's Choice Grant Award. We were notified, and unfortunately tomorrow while we're at our volunteer appreciation dinner, I cannot be over, I think, at Look Park for the recipients event at the same time, but I've RSVP'd and told them I'm very sorry. They asked what we would like to do with the money. I don't know how much it is, but it will go towards funding a new sign for the center, because the one at the end of the driveway is pathetic. It's lopsided, falling over, and it looks like it's peeling and rotted. So we'll get that in the works. We'll probably put some building fund money towards any balance of it. So I'm looking around at signs that I like locally. The Thai restaurant just got a really nice new sign, so I may find out who did their sign, but that's what we're going to put it towards. And when I sent that into the marketing department at Florence Savings Bank, they said that was a fine idea. So, so that's the last bit of new.
One more, the health fair.
Oh, health fair. Okay. Thank you. So Gloria Vivier from Fogey came in with some ideas about maybe what we could consider trying again. Apparently pre-COVID, there was a health fair here at the Council on Aging, probably indoors. This would happen sometime in the fall, maybe September, October, no later than that, with various tables of health resources. We might have Christopher Heights here. We might have the EMTs here doing blood pressure checks. You could have some local businesses. Belchertown just did one, and hold on a second. Okay, they did one last week. It was called the Umbrella of Wellness Fair. So they have something on substance abuse prevention, something on mental health, something on treatment and recovery, something on health and well-being. That ran for 3 hours. Oh, they had it on the common. That's nice. They had food trucks too. So they got sponsorships from McCarthy's Pub, Remax, Holmes Transportation Services. So it's on my list of things to look into and maybe put on the calendar, okay?
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Does anyone have anything other for new business?
I have a question for
Oh.
Lisa. Were you
Okay.
able to follow up on the senior self-defense class?
Yeah, Chief O'Grady has one of his lieutenants who's in charge of that. He has to take his renewal training where he goes, gets beats up by old people, and then he's ready to come here and give us a date. So they are preparing to be able to offer us something here. I think here is where they would do it, but one of the members of the police force has to be recertified. So it's in the works. Just don't expect it in the next month or two.
Okay, thank you.
So I don't have to call you guys back. The ones who are for the meeting, the dinner tomorrow, are those conditions a showstopper for any of you? Are you willing to wear a mask and test?
I'm not gonna come because
Okay.
I have a lot of health issues.
Okay, I understand that too. Okay,
Yeah, I think I'm probably gonna stay home as well at this point.
okay.
Carol and I sure won't be there because
I
of
know, I've already,
nursing.
but we will deliver for you Friday.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. What about
And-
you, Barbara?
Yes, I called yesterday. I called Diane. She,
Oh, okay, I didn't get that. Okay, thanks, great.
Bob and I will not be there.
Okay, so we're gonna have a big delivery Friday morning, okay?
That's good. What time
Okay.
What time do we pick them up tomorrow?
You don't pick them up, we're delivering them to you Friday,
Oh, okay.
Friday morning. You'll have it on Friday or, yeah, whenever you want to eat it. But no, the food doesn't come till we're in the middle of our event, so it'll give us time to breathe and we'll pack them Friday morning and Dawn will deliver them. Her schedule's light, so I told her, you're gonna be doing a food delivery Friday morning.
Okay, thank you.
Good.
okay. Next board meeting is June 15th. Hopefully in person, but we'll see.
I will not
Hopefully.
make it. I'll be in Florida that day. That's my first day down there.
Julie,
Yep,
that was, oh, okay.
sorry.
Oh, enjoy.
I was thinking if it was Zoom, I could maybe do it, but I will
Why
have
would you
just
do that?
gotten in.
And I will be in Switzerland. Hopefully. Hopefully,
Wow.
yeah. Well, this is three years because of the COVID. It's been
Yeah.
canceled for the past 3 years, so.
I know. It
See.
hasn't been good.
Yeah. Okay, if nothing else, can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, Don, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, Carol. Thank you, everyone.